Hi, my name is Ellie Brocklehurst, and with me today is my beautiful friend and co-host Beck Nadalo, and together we are full-timers. As two working mums with small children and hubbies in tow, we've come to the realisation that the best way to define us, and a lot of people out there, is that we're full-time. Full-time mums, full-time wives, full-time employees, friends and daughters. And with all that full-time comes with it a lot of weight, obstacles and constraints, but also a lot of great opportunities. We've been searching for somewhere to validate our feelings about what it takes to be a woman in today's world. So rather than continue that search, we thought, let's start it. Welcome to the Full-Timers Club.
Hi, welcome to the Full-Timers Club. I'm Beck.
I'm Ellie.
And welcome back to season 2.
Yay!
Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're here.
I know. I feel like time has passed really quickly since our last one, even though it's been like a month.
Yeah, I've really missed it actually.
Me too.
Like I feel like over the Christmas break I was just constantly jotting ideas down for episodes, content, topics.
That's good of you.
Yeah, I'm really excited to be back. I feel like I've got a lot to say.
That's great.
How was your break?
It was lovely. It was very lovely, thank you. Was home for a few weeks in Sydney, in Australia, which is just like this time of year is just so sensational. It's just the best weather. You know, it's friends, it's family, it's kind of so social. And I think for me this year, what was really great was we were much better at spreading our time. I feel like we often, if we go home, it's like all about family, or if you go home for weddings, it's all about friends. But this time I think we just did the perfect mix of all of it, and it was just wonderful. Plus, seeing my kids love the beach and spend like hours at the beach was just very heartwarming.
Oh, that's awesome.
How was yours?
I just on the beach topic, I feel like Roman is such a Singapore baby. It's like when the water is too cold, he's like, I don't want to go in, mummy.
Johnny kept being like, it's so dirty.
Yeah, they're just
It's
used
so
to
dirty.
condo pools.
Yeah.
Oh, bless them. How was mine? It was beautiful. I just had the most beautiful time. It was just it was a lot of family time. Similar to you, we tried not to do too much or organise too much. It was quite slow, but like perfect. One activity a day. Spent a lot of time with my family, and I was saying to someone the other day, and because they were like, oh, like too much family time, and I was like, but I really like my family. I genuinely really like them. I love my brother and his wife Sammy, and we probably saw them every day bar maybe 3 days out of the 15.
Oh wow.
And the kids were playing, and it was a really beautiful time, and it just reminded me how much, you know, the time isn't here yet. But for the day where I do move home and I can just ring my brother and be like, hey, we're popping over in 10 minutes with barbecue, like I really look forward to that.
It's funny that you said that, because so we rented for the week over Christmas in Sydney. And
Sorry, Ellie, I really have to point this out. Can you show me your hands?
no, I don't want to. Yeah, I faked it.
Ellie's hands are I mean, your skin looks incredible, but I'm just going to say your hands are quite dark.
I've done fake tan for, how old am I? Like, I've done fake tan for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I still cannot figure out the hand situation.
Do you wear gloves?
No, like a mitt.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's because when I sleep. You know, maybe I sleep.
I don't know.
The worst part is I've done a real boo-boo. In my rush last night to do it before I went to bed, I've completely missed my chest. So, I don't know if the camera can see it, but I'm literally like pale white, and the rest of me is
It's all right.
brown.
Just continue wearing a high neck t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
You look amazing. But,
Oh, thanks.
You know.
I do this. Actually, you know, I should mention this because back last season we talked about the health check, and I talked about going to get my skin checked. I took out 5 moles over the Christmas break.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So very grateful that we did that episode to remind me to do it.
Yeah.
But one of them is not anything too sinister, but it's got all of the signs that's going to turn into a melanoma. So
Okay.
I'm going to go back and get it out in February.
Okay.
But again, it's just that reminder.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be in the sun. I've got to look after my skin.
Yeah.
And so this fake tan, guys, you're just going to see it all the time. I mean, I wear it all the time
I think
anyway.
you need to teach me how to do it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Teach you how to, yeah.
I feel just
well,
really pale.
do you want to be taught, or you find your own
I'm so
person?
sorry to interrupt you. I just had to, I was like looking at your hands. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
No.
For all those fake tan users out there, they'll totally sympathise.
Sorry, you were saying.
So we rented in Sydney, which is the first time we've actually stayed there in our own place. Like we always stay with family or stay with friends. And it for that 1 week made me feel like I lived there. It's the first time I've really felt like I lived there.
Yeah.
And it was just lovely for exactly the same reasons you said. We hosted our family for a day that everyone came over. We went to the beach. We got fish and chips, and it was just, it just felt like what I imagined life would be like if we moved home.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. And as everyone though kept reminding me, it was peak summer, beautiful weather. Everyone was on holidays.
Oh, totally.
I'm sure in the middle of winter it would be not so fun.
So one of my friends sent me and another friend this meme over Christmas, and it was like, don't be convinced by your childhood boyfriend that like actually maybe you should move home and like and end up with them, like, because it's exactly that. It's everyone's home, it's Christmas, it's summer, epic weather, everyone's out, everyone's on holidays. Like that is not what it would usually be like. But I have to say, one thing that Andrew and I love doing when we get home is go to the supermarket.
Oh my God.
And we just literally go and walk up and down the aisles and we'll be like, look at shapes. Shapes are like $3. Succotars are like $1. They're
Blueberries were $2.
Okay, do you know what I think the best? And I'm going to create like a global index of Serena tuna because
it's super expensive here.
Here at Little Farms, it's $7.60 for like the 95 gram can, which is insane. And I stocked up. I reckon I bought 20 cans of Serena tuna for $2 a can when I was home. And then like Allen's lollies, $3. It's incredible.
So I actually think for me, the dried goods, pretty comparative. Like, things like, I don't know, your laundry detergent and like pasta packets, like all that kind of stuff seemed really normal. It was the fresh food.
Yeah.
It really, I went to Little Farms yesterday. I shouldn't I love Little Farms. Like it is a beautiful grocer here in Singapore. But I just cannot stomach the fact that they sell strawberries, Korean strawberries for $14.98.
Yeah. Yeah.
A punnet. And it's not a double layer punnet.
No, it's quite
a single
small.
layer.
I know exactly what you mean. I actually, last night.
Deeply offensive.
When I texted you, it was like 9:30 p.m. I had a call starting at 10. I realised Roman didn't have any fruit for today and we'd run out of bananas and I have a shake in the morning with a banana. So I ran to Little Farms and I went to the counter with like 4 bananas and she was like, that's $12. I was like, sorry, what now?
No, just the bananas.
Yeah. No, what? And anyways, I literally went and got one from the discount bin because it was like I needed a ripe banana anyway and it was still like $4. Just like, this is insanity.
It is.
What is the thing that when you go home is like your favourite, like you or like the first thing you have to do?
Oh, 100% go to Baker's Delight, get the white bap roll and get a hot chook.
That is hilarious.
Is it yours?
Close because it's food related, but the hot chook for sure.
Yeah.
Lilydale Coles chicken.
Yeah. So Mum calls me on the way. So we always fly into Sydney and then we drive to Canberra.
Yeah.
And Mum's like, text me when you get in the car and then text me when you're an hour away so I can go buy you the fresh hot chook. Like it's part of a routine that we have down pat. And then I found out when we went up north for a bit and came back to Will's family's house, his mum had done the same. Like she's like, we know that you guys love your hot chooks and your white rolls. And I was like, yeah.
I love that.
Because you don't get them here.
No. And you can't, the thing that I love is like the Baker's Delight fresh, just white loaf that you get sliced.
Thick slice.
Oh.
So good.
No, mine is fish and chips and I eat like a copious amount of crab sticks.
With lots of then they're not real crab.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
They're like when I used to get potato scallops and I used to think it was a mishmash of potato and real scallop.
Oh.
And I was like, these are amazing. And my parents like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I'm eating seafood when I was little. And they're like, no,
that's quite
potatoes.
funny. I can see why you might think that. So how, like, I guess now we're into a new year. How would you characterize 2024 for you if you had to sum it up in a word?
Busy.
Mm-hmm.
Busy.
Yeah.
And probably, I feel like so much happened last year. Like, got made redundant, tried to find a job.
Last year?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like a year and a week.
Before. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Which freaks me out so much at how like so much happened, but I feel like it went by like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, made redundant, finding a new job, starting a new job.
Killing it in a new job.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you. And then just the realities of life once you're in a job and you got 2 kids, and we had a really tough end of the year with like serious sickness. Like I think I ended up with everything.
You were sick for a long time, weren't you? And it was like you'd get better and then you'd get sick again.
I had to have like oxygen and stuff.
Yeah.
My heart rate was really messed up. But I think, look, I got all these tests and the doctors were just like, it's just end of the year. You've just been hit with bugs.
Yeah.
So I'd say it was busy. I'd say it was a good busy because I hate being bored. But for sure there were definite moments, and probably, you know, I think this podcast we talk a lot about, but there were definite moments where it was quite overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I finished last year being like, I'm going to try not to let that affect me this year, or try not to get overwhelmed as easily maybe.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your year like?
If I had to sum it up in a word, I would say anxiety. Yeah, anxiety inducing maybe. I just feel like last year, personally, professionally, geopolitically, economically, everything was just a bit anxious. And I feel like I said to my husband at the end of the year, I feel like I haven't taken a deep breath for a really long time. Like and you can see it in my breathing. It's like, you know, like shallow breathing, because I felt last year like either something was always around the corner or there was too much uncertainty, and everyone in Singapore was talking about it. And I think economically as well, you know, going home or talking to friends in the US, like budgets are just sitting still because everyone's a bit uncertain around what's happening in the world. The world still feels out of whack, you know, and it just, I just felt really anxious. And I wouldn't say that I'm someone who's ever suffered from anxiety. I've never really, until probably last year. And I just felt anxious all the time. And it's something that I reflected on a lot over the Christmas break. And I actually made an appointment with my life coach in 2 weeks because I just wanted to, it's not like I have anything specific to talk about, but that underlying feeling of anxiety, which you're like, okay, there's so much in life we can't control right now. So I can't let myself be anxious about things because I can't control it. And so you can't just go through life being anxious about all the things you can't control. So I need to figure out how to, you know, get that under wraps. And although actually starting this year I feel much better, but it just felt like last year was very anxiety inducing. And I think things like, you know, it was great talking about the redundancy episodes, but then it just felt like last year it was all you would hear about were people being made redundant, people leaving Singapore, people losing jobs, not being able to get jobs, economy was down. So it felt like I really needed the break last year, not because I was tired or exhausted. I think I was just emotionally not necessarily in a bad place, but I was just like, I need a break. I need to reconnect with all the things that are important to me. Yeah. And I feel like I've come back stronger, and then, you know, facing 2025.
So much can be said for taking a break, right? Like, I mean, I think you're right. I think everyone just lived on the edge.
Yes.
Constantly just
everyone
waiting
was
for someone
on
to
edge
push
last
you,
year. Yep.
Or like something to happen where it falls underneath you. Like it was, I know exactly what you mean. And I think I ended last year feeling pretty positive for 2025 because of the things, and this is professionally speaking, all the things that were starting to kind of come up for this year. Like all the meetings that we were being put in, like, you know, our regional team has discussed how we're like, wow, Q1 is like really busy. Like I'm quite shocked at how busy it is because it hasn't felt like that for a while. So I kind of ended last year feeling pretty confident that this year would feel better. Yeah. So it was nice to kind of go into Christmas being like, okay, you know, I guess the Christmas before was pre-redundancy where I didn't absolutely at all feel secure. So maybe it was, I do think that there's something about Christmas for me or that time of year where it's a time to recalibrate, which I think is what you've just done.
For sure. And I think it's not just because you're taking a break, but you're reconnecting with things that you love, like your family or, you know, going home. Home is a place. Well, for some people it's not, but for me it certainly is. I think the other thing I realised, and this kind of leads into then themes of 2025, is I am not good with things or I'm not good with ambiguity and uncertainty. Like if something's going to be bad, that's fine. Just like I just need to know. Yeah. And I'm fine with dealing with negative situations, but I'm not great with ambiguity. And I think last year there was ambiguity and uncertainty in the world everywhere. Yeah. And that's something then that I've been thinking about, okay, in 2025, how do I better deal with those things or set myself up so even though the world might be uncertain or ambiguous, I can still control the way I react to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So okay, if last year was about busyness for you, or that's the way you felt, have you had to think about kind of 2025 and key
Very
themes?
much so. Oh,
and
yes.
actually, before I go into it, I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was explaining to me how her and her husband have like a keyword for the year.
Oh,
Shout out to Matt and Belle for this one.
cute.
Which I thought was really cool.
Like it's the same one for the pair, or like
no, individually. However, for a family, that would be quite interesting.
quite cool.
So they each have like a word that sums up their year. And so I then was reflecting a lot on this. I asked Andrew to do the same thing, and he was like, I hate this shit. Stop trying to make me like make goals and anyways, I was like, fine, whatever. I'm going to think about mine. But I'd love to ask you, what if you had to sum 2025 up, not as a resolution, but is there a theme that you would like to, or an intention or something in your year?
I want to answer that in two-part because I'm going to start by saying I did set myself a resolution that I'm pretty sure I've already failed at.
What's that?
So if anyone is like very keen at watching our videos, they will notice that I usually have like a notebook.
Yeah.
And what I realized towards the end of last year is I've got 3 notebooks and I don't keep track of which things are in which notebook. So I tend to have like I confuse myself around where my notes are and what book is for what. And so I was like, no, this year I'm going to I've bought myself an iPad because our old one broke. And so I was like, on this year, I'm going to buy a digital one, right? Just one simple, good, I did all the study, all the research into one simple digital planner, which I don't know if I just don't have the patience for it, or if I don't know, have ADHD or something. I currently have, I'm just going to get it up. Okay. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 7 notebooks on my iPad.
Why?
Because this is what I do. I think this is what I've realized. This is why this is not a good resolution for me. I don't think I'm good at putting all my focus into one thing.
Right.
I think I get like, I want something else for something. If I'm like doing our notes for our podcast, I want it to be like a particular kind of notebook. I don't want it to be a daily planner. It just needs to be a notebook. But for work, I need a daily planner. But then for my new business stuff, I'm like, I need like,
you are so funny.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, this goes back into my whole, I'm pretty sure I'm anal, which I didn't think I was, philosophy. But so that's the resolution I've already failed at.
Okay.
To get organised and be organised and just keep it simple. And I think complicated the shit out of it.
Okay.
So then,
I mean, this is the whole thing of like resolutions, like why they're so useless, right? Because you just like, what is it? I think like 80% of them are
give up after
day 16 or something. I can't remember.
Do
what the
things
stat
that are
is.
achievable. I think that's the thing for me, was like to shift my entire attitude to note taking.
Yeah.
That's a big undertaking. I've been taking notes since I was like 15. Like it just was a bit silly. So I decided, similar to you, that this year was going to be like an act, or like I was going to do something, like what was I going to have as like my philosophy driving me this year. And I've kind of come up with the words to be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is I feel like because I'm a bit busy and I've got so much on, I feel like I've turned into what my dad used to say is a goner.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this.
And I'm going to do that. Yeah. I'm always like, yeah, I'm going to go to that. Yeah, I'm going to go to the gym. Yeah. And I just feel like I wasn't very good at that. So this year it's very much, if I'm going to do something, I really want to do it, and I'm going to set out and make things easy for me to achieve. For example, going back to the gym. Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to try and go every day. Yeah. I'm never going to go every day, and I'll just get shitty at myself if I don't. So I'm giving myself, I bought one of those 10 packs, 2 times a week. Yep. I've done 2 times this week.
Good on you.
Thank you so much. Week 1, tick. But yeah, it's just to be really intentional with what I'm going to do. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it. I don't want to be like, yeah, I'll do that in a sec, or yeah, I'll put that off until Saturday. I just have to get better at just sitting down and doing things.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like one big part of that is we often try and do too many things. Hence why then you end up doing like a half-assed job of 50 things rather than a really good job of 10 things. And maybe with the intention is, or to be able to have intentionality is going, okay, what are the 5 things that matter to me and that I really have to do, and just do those really well and be present for them rather than trying to do what we usually do, which is 100 things.
Or like even just procrastinate.
Yeah.
I just feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that today, so I'll do it on Saturday or do it on whatever day. And then then it feels like a tedious task.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other thing is just if I got to do something, I just, we've just, did I tell you that we've rented a new house in Singapore?
Yes.
So we're moving.
Okay.
Add that to the list of things to do.
Yeah.
And there's so much to do for that. And I've keep being like, oh, it's cool. I'll do that on Saturday. Or I'm going to do that then. Or whereas I should just do it at night when I'm watching TV.
I mean, yeah, you could. I guess it's finding the time, or like being intentional with, okay, I'm going to block this out. You know what you do, because you're exactly the same as me. You start a task and then 10 minutes in you'll be like, oh, I need to do this, and then you start that, and then you go and you're like, actually I'll go make a coffee, and then you make a coffee, and then you come back and you're like, actually I really need to get this, and you
precisely what I do.
Yeah, no, I know I do exactly. I think actually a lot of full-timer women would do exactly this. You are multitasking to the point where actually you're not productive anymore.
You're not doing anything,
and you haven't done anything because you've started 50 tasks and completed one.
0.
Yeah, one if you're lucky. And so maybe I think the whole thing with intention is like, okay, the next hour is dedicated to X.
Yeah.
And it might be watching TV.
But
that's completely okay.
Exactly what I said to Will, because I did that this week with work. I think I said to you on Monday that I was like, I'm going to have one of those weeks where it's just going to be really full on. And so I scheduled in my time. So I was like, work on this pitch, work on this doc, whatever I need to do. I said to Will this morning, with this moving of a house, I want us to actually sit down on Friday night and write out when we're going to do the things we said we're going to do.
Yeah.
We've got a whole house to pack up. We've got 2 kids to pack up. Like, it's a lot to move.
Yeah, it is.
Let's get really strict on almost like dedicating time to do it.
Yeah. Do you know actually?
I'll put it in my planner. I'll get it.
Put it in one of those 7 diaries for you, and then on Friday night you'll be like, which diary did I put this in? Damn it!
I literally have proactive ideas, daily schedule, digital meeting, house, FTC, one that doesn't say anything, untitled 2.
That's hilarious.
Anyway,
hey, you know what's just completely off topic? One thing that Andrew and I did when we moved into our new place was when we did move. I think maybe it was even like the night before. We sat down together and said, what are the things we want to leave in this house? Not physically, emotionally and mentally.
Oh, I like
and what are the
that.
things we want to take to the new house? And like one of the big things for us was coming home, you're busy, and then you just slump on the couch. You end up eating dinner in front of the TV. You don't talk, and then you just go to bed. And one of our things was more conversation. And so dinner time's a great time for us to do that. So turning the TV off. And so that was one of the things we took into the new house, and like a behaviour or a act, which we pretty much have retained.
really?
Yeah.
You sit and have dinner at the table every night?
Well, we end up sitting on the couch most of the night, but we'll sit there and chat, and then we'll be like, okay, what are we going to watch? And it could just be 10 minutes, and that's completely fine. But that was a really nice thing of like, what do you want to leave? Because you, like the house for you guys, you brought 2 kids home to that house. Was Johnny in that house?
Yeah. No,
2 kids home.
Yeah.
Like, so you've grown up a lot in that house. And so, yeah.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was
Will,
really
stay
cathartic.
tuned. We're going to do that before we
Sorry,
move.
Will, you're doing that on Friday night. You can blame me.
I actually think he'd like it.
I think he would as
he's
well.
He's into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I have to force Andrew sometimes into. He's like, oh God, here we go with your hippie shit again. I'm like, no, this is our mindset.
No, I think it's great. I love that. Okay, well, you obviously have done the thinking. What is your one word?
So I actually don't have one word. I have 2 words.
Okay.
And I feel like even going in what are we? Today's 16th of January. I've been. I'm actually really proud of myself. So the first word is discipline. And it's a slightly different meaning or take on kind of your intentionality or intention. One of the things that I have had this kind of epiphany, maybe, I don't know, realization over the last year maybe, and it was solidified or is solidified every time I go home, which is we are in a very unique life stage right now where we have the potential to set ourselves up for our future. Yeah. Our future, our family's future, our children's future, and everything we do today will either reap the rewards one day or we're going to pay the price for. Classic example of what I mean is, so when we go home and I see my parents, my mum is 71, just turned 71.
Yeah.
If you were standing from behind, you would think she was 50, maybe.
Amazing.
She walks every morning. She goes to the gym 3-4 times a week. She is probably fitter than I am. She's definitely healthier than I am. She looks amazing, and as a result, she can still literally run after the kids. She's out gardening every day. Like she plays just like doesn't live the life of what you would think a 71-year-old lives. And she's amazing like that. And she constantly says to me, Beck, like, you've got to start doing weights. You've got to start doing things for your body because you're at that prime age now where you need to be building muscle density, bone density, I think it is.
Muscle, yeah.
Muscle.
Yeah.
You need to be taking these supplements, all of these things. And when you get to 70, you will be able to work like me and look like me and live like me. But if you don't do those things, you won't. And so that's like a classic example of what I mean. The other thing is, we've just bought a house, and the next however many years we're left in Singapore, 5 to 10, whatever it is, we are at a point in our life where we're probably earning the most we were going to, particularly in advertising. Like, I'm in a great position and probably at the peak. And so getting really disciplined around saving and making sure that, like when you buy things, it's like, okay, do you really need to buy that?
Yeah.
That could actually help you pay off the mortgage. We're in Singapore where we're paying low taxes. Like, this is the time to be reaping or to be disciplined so that later on when we go home, we've set ourselves up to have a bit more financial freedom than if we didn't do those things in these years. And so I'm realizing so much about this life stage of how important it is health-wise, career-wise, financially, with Roman, like the time we invest with him and how much it'll set him up emotionally in the future. So I think just being really disciplined with my intentions and actions and behavior. And so in the last couple of weeks, I've been doing my weights. I've found reformer Pilates, which I'm really enjoying, which is rare for me because I fucking hate exercise. I just don't enjoy it. I'm not one of those people. Healthy eating and not drinking, just for now anyway. Like the not drinking part come back. That's coming back.
Generally is not over. So
I'm just not the kind of person that's going to give up champagne, sorry. But like just healthier eating and healthier intentions. So that's like a huge part. And Andrew's been the same. And I feel disciplined. I feel in control.
That's great.
And I was reading something the other day around like one of the best antidotes to uncertainty and ambiguity is discipline, because discipline is one thing you can control.
Yeah.
And so the more you are disciplined, the more you're setting yourself up for freedom in the future.
Oh, I like that.
So
it's isn't it funny how it's like the same but different.
Yeah.
Like I'm listening to you and thinking, because one of the things Will and I have discussed this year is I love exercise. So we're very different in that respect. I always feel better when I go, but I always find an excuse not to. And so similar to the discipline part, it's me being like, if I'm going to set my alarm for 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. no matter what. Yeah. Whereas I'm always like, oh, the kids woke me up, or you coughed in my face, and I didn't sleep. It's just, I said that this morning actually. Yeah. But there's always a reason for me not to do something.
But I guess to what you said earlier of making it realistic and achievable, like if you're not a morning person, like if I did that, I know I'm going to fail because I'm just not the person that gets up at 5 a.m. to exercise. Yeah. But if I set myself, for 9 p.m. where I actually get like a second wind, I might actually do that.
Really?
I'm a big night person.
God, shoot me.
Even though I go to bed at 10 p.m. But between 8 and 9, God, I'm productive.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Complete opposite. So I actually think I am a morning person in that if I'm awake, I'm awake. But I just don't like waking up. Yeah. So, and also, like Singapore's dark at 6 a.m. In Australia, I was waking up at 6, no issue. Make my coffee in the morning, the sun was shining, perfect. I just think it's here. I think it's this darkness that looms at that time that makes you feel like it's not good to get out of bed.
Do you also sleep with blockout blinds?
I certainly do.
I feel like blockout blinds haven't come to Australia. I had to get my mum to put garbage bags up on the window, and she was like, why does Roman need to sleep with such darkness? Why does he sleep for so long? And I'm like, because it's dark in there. Meanwhile, I've been awake since 4 a.m. because these shutters that you have, which aren't even shutters or blinds, anyway.
But then that to me is a good way to wake up. Yeah. We never used to have blackout blinds until we had kids and realised sleep is precious. Yeah. So I've always been a morning person because, it never bothered me. Whereas in the new house, we've decided to get sheer and then block out, and I'm going to have sheer. And I'm gonna. Oh, sorry, I can hear myself going.
I'm gonna get you a t-shirt.
I'm going to go and wake up early and set my day right.
Yep. Second one, my second word is, and I think this is a really important one, is gratitude. And I do feel like I practice a lot of this anyway, but I think one way to deal with a lot of what's happening in the world right now is gratitude. Like, we are so lucky for just like, you know, for being able to sit here and do this, for our bodies, for our minds, for everything we have. And I think it's really, really, and I think this gets to an episode we're going to talk about very soon, which is so often we focus on the things we don't have rather than things we do have. So I feel like Andrew and I did a lot of talking about gratitude last year as a way of dealing with everything that was going on. But this year it's been a very intentional thing as well. And I feel like it forces me to be more present in the moment. Like when I'm with Roman, I often will sit there, like putting him to bed, I just cry every night because I just hold him and think, I am so lucky. And I think gratitude is just, it's one of the, I don't know, biggest emotions I feel, and particularly then going home and being with my family and like life is relatively simple back home, but I just go far out. We are so lucky. Yeah. So I think gratitude is a key thing.
I think it's a great one because I think this so much about with Mia, because now she's, 16, 17 months. We're letting time slip by like willingly. And one of the things I want to do for this year is just honestly like just not be on my phone. I had this habit last year where I literally take it from room to room. Didn't need it.
Oh God, I do that.
But I take it from the kitchen to the living room,
and you're
living
like,
room
why?
To the bathroom.
It's so not necessary.
What am I doing on there? And I have an Apple Watch, so if anyone needs me, this will let me know that somebody needs me. So for this year, I really want to. I did start it last year, and I think Will hates it because I always lose my phone, and so I'm doing the little ding 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 ding, and he's like.
He's like, it's in your hands.
Like, it's literally just here. And I was like, I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So I think in the new house, I'm going to have a place. And I'm literally going to put my phone in that place on a Saturday morning when I don't need it, and just going to sit there. If anyone needs me, call me on my Apple Watch.
Do you sleep with your phone in your room?
Yes.
Yeah. See, everyone always says charge your phone in another room.
I have it on sleep. Like I don't get any alerts or anything. Nothing.
You don't wake up during the night and look at it?
No, absolutely not.
I'm really bad
and
at
the best thing about sleep on Apple is it turns off any notification. As in, if you press your phone, it doesn't even show you have notifications. Yeah. You are bad at that. I'm really bad at that.
Like the 4 a.m. thing.
Yeah.
But that was an anxiety thing last year of the 4 a.m. wake up, which actually I've been sleeping much better.
Oh, there you go. That's lovely.
I think those are all fantastic points that, for both of us that we should remind each other.
We should. Let's do a check-in.
We should. And do you know what? There's one thing I want to say on the gratitude thing, which everyone should practice. And it's something I learned from Andrew. Andrew, oh God, he's just adorable sometimes. But ever since the day we met, and I've noticed his family do it in the family chat. So there's like the entire family. And every now and then AJ, his brother, will just write, love you guys.
No,
like not for no reason. And at home, I'll be in the kitchen or actually it's more like Andrew will be in the kitchen, I'm on the couch. And he'll just yell out, love you. And it's such a beautiful thing. And we do it all the time with each other. And we do it with Roman all the time. And then Roman he'll be playing his Lego and he'll just go, love you. And I think it's just, telling the people, and we often do it. Like when we say goodbye on the phone now, we're like, love you.
Hey, love you, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a gratitude thing.
And that goes back to what Alexis said of little and often. Such a small thing.
Yeah.
Do it all the time. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, love you.
On that note, I love you, Ellie. Love you. Or as Roman would say, love you.
Oh, stop.
It's so sweet. All right. Should we wrap up?
We should.
That was a really nice chat.
It was.
What a nice chat.
Yeah.
God, I've missed this.
I know. I'm so excited to be back.
Yeah.
And we're so excited also because we've got so much like great stuff coming up. Like we're just
so much good stuff.
We think you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is the Full Timers Club. I'm Beck.
I'm Ellie, and we'll see you next time.